Today's video is for The Shootist from 1976. The director was Siegel. The production designer was Robert F. Boyle. The music composer was Elmer Bernstein. The stunts were Burk, Leonard, and Roydon Clark. The cast is John Wayne, Lauren Bacall, and Carridine. The story is J.B. Brooks is an aging gunfighter diagnosed with cancer who comes to Nevada at the turn of the 20th century, renting a room from widowed Bond Rogers and her son Gillom. Brooks is confronted by several people of questionable motives, including a man seeking to avenge his brother's death and a few who are looking to profit from Brooks' notoriety. Not wanting to die a quiet, painful death, Brooks devises a plan to go out with a bang. This movie is based on a book, and it's a good movie. Lauren Bacall, James Stewart, Richard Boone, and Carridine were all cast at John Wayne's request. James Stewart had not made a film for 5 years, but he agreed to play the Doctor as a favor to John Wayne. And his brief screen time proved to be rather difficult. The bad acoustics of the huge hollow sound stages worsened his hearing difficulties. And Wayne had many health issues during filming of this movie as well. So from here are some spoilers. I want to see more of Moses, the Paperboy, Sarepta, the other boarders before they left, Dobkins, Marshall Thibodeau, Pulford, Sweeney, and Cobbs. I want to see more of the relationship between Hostetler and Brooks. I also want to see more of the relationship between Bond and Brooks. I was glad there was no forced romance between Bond and Brooks. It just made the film flow really well. To add a sense of realism to John Wayne's character, archive footage from several of his westerns was used to introduce J.B. Brooks after the beginning credits. I know they're trying to establish Cobbs as a missing person, but grabbing his gun when first meeting Brooks seemed kind of odd. They could have done something a little bit different and to make him a little bit more memorable, because for the rest of the film, we never see Cobbs until he's released from jail for the final shootout. To me, Brooks could have stayed at Dr. Hostetler's so the doctor could keep an eye on him. Why wasn't Bond angry at Brooks for giving Gillom shooting lessons, especially since at that time I think they still had boarders and they're right behind the house shooting guns at a tree? Gillom's reaction to finding his mother in Brooks' room was a little odd. His reaction could have been a bit better, especially because he knows his mother wouldn't do anything like that with Brooks. And I know they're both in their house robes, but to me, he should have known and had a different reaction. The horse owned and given away by Brooks was John Wayne's own horse. I love that Bond is wearing a black dress towards the end, almost like she's becoming a widow again. For me, the music when Brooks enters the saloon is a little out of place. The scene could have been totally silent without the music and only the fans spinning making the noise. This is the final time stuntman and longtime Wayne friend Bad Chuck Robertson doubled for Wayne. He's seen diving over the bar in the shootout. The original screenplay had Gillom shooting and killing J.B. Brooks. In the screenplay, the killing disturbed Gillom so much that he throws the pistol away and leaves the bar. Wayne had the screenplay changed so that Brooks is killed by the bartender, who is then killed by Rogers. Along with being John Wayne's last movie, it is also the 7th movie in which his character is killed. Man Who Shot Liberty Valance does not count because his character had already died. I won't name the films here for spoiler reasons. This was actually never intended as John Wayne's last movie. After recovering from open heart surgery, he announced that he was intending to make a movie called Beau John with Ron Howard. But for some reason, it never got off the ground. It would have been interesting if there was a sequel focusing on Ron Howard's character. I wish that Howard and Wayne had been able to do another movie together. It would have been interesting at one point if Howard had made Beau John in Wayne's honor. And so this was a really good movie, and it was very well done, even though it wasn't meant to be John Wayne's last film. So what did you think of this film? What is your favorite John Wayne movie? Comment down below, like, share, subscribe.